Good morning, everybody. All right, ISTE Tuesday morning. Are you ready for some more learning? Great. All right. I'm Kurt. I'm from Belgium. Flew all the way over, and I have the most wonderful job at ISTE. I get to introduce these 20 educators who will share their stories of learning with you. Now, if you cannot get into any of their sessions, we do have some other solutions that you can attend. There's keynotes. So don't wait in line. There's panel discussions. We have playgrounds that are open all morning, all afternoon. There's poster sessions, BYODs. So don't stand in line unless you want to see your friend. Try them out. And without further ado, here's the first presenter, Vicki Davis.
Go.
Well, we'll give that a second.
Yeah, we'll give it a second. Here we go. It's behind us.
Awesome.
There we go. Hey, I'm Vicki Davis with the Cool Cat Teacher blog and the 10-Minute Teacher podcast.
And I'm Eric Kurtz from Control Alt Achieve.
And are you ready to get?
Goog smacked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to have 50 plus
That's right. She said 50 plus.
tips, tools, and tricks about
Google Classroom, Docs, Forms, Sheets, Slides, Keep Chrome, and more.
So my friend Casey Bell for Shake Up Learning, give it up for Casey. She's awesome. She'll be there tomorrow, and she'll be talking about Google Keep for informal feedback and assessment.
And then I'm going to be talking about the free Read and Write for Chrome toolbar that allows you to record voice feedback for students in Google Docs. And then my good friend Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook is going to be talking about one quick edit you can make to Google links to turn them from view into edit, copy, or even template and preview mode.
And I'm going to give you the link to all of my digital citizenship hyperdocs and talk about how I use them in my classroom, plus so much more, because there's going to be 50 plus.
That's right. She said 50 plus.
Tips, tools, and tricks to use everything Google. And remember, though, we're going to talk about a lot of tips and tools, but it's all about our students, isn't it, and how we teach. So it will be
Wednesday, June 27th, 10:30 a.m. in W375 Skyline Room.
So let's get
Goog smacked.
There we go.
How we doing this morning, ISTE? All right, all right. We're going to be talking about AI in schools. The future is here. We are ready. My superintendent and I, Dr. Tom Leonard, who actually is from originally Barrington in this area. Those of you that are Chicago natives know that. And we'll be doing a little bit looking at different components of things in school that will actually help prepare us for this future of artificial intelligence and what it looks like. So, when you look at this image here, maybe, coming up, next slide. That one. What do you see that's different besides one's color and one's black and white? What do you notice? People know people, right? We're going to be looking at a lot of different ways that things are getting automated and what its impact will have on us and what that actually looks like. So look at these companies here. If I click, there we go, that no longer exist. Look at that one up at the top there. Remember, just recently, Toys R Us. You guys heard that, right? They announced that they're closing. All these companies that no longer exist. And then you compare that with this group of companies that didn't exist just 40 years ago. And what does that look like? And what does that mean? What does this mean for our kids and the future of the workforce, right? Now, I'm not here to sell you a condo or anything like this. This is not a timeshare. But if I had 2 pennies to invest, it would be in AI and robotics. Look at these trends, right? If this is where money is going, this is where the future is going for our kids too in a lot of ways. And you think about innovation, and a lot of times we say, okay, let's put something in someone's hands, we'll do something innovative in schools, and then see if there's a way we can measure it. Well, you can't do it while it's actually happening. It's hard to innovate and measure the future at the same time in our schools, so you have to be wary of those things. The core of all this that we'll be talking about is how do we integrate with this design process to get us ready for that AI and what that looks like? Because it's going to be here before we know it, y'all. Thank you so much. Come to AI in Schools Wednesday, tomorrow, 1 to 2 o'clock. Thank you.
everyone. We're going to take a look at going from now to wow, incorporating engaging technology in the classroom. I'm Jenny Lahotsky, and I have worked with a group of authors. And tomorrow, we're going to hear from Lisa Blake, Megan Flaherty, and Sherry DiCarlo. And Meg Ormiston has led our group in creating a 5-book series on how to create engaging technology in the classroom. This takes the practice and theory behind educational technology and puts that into action in these books. We're answering the question, how do we take meaningful integration of the ISTE standards to get our students from where they're at now to move them to the wow of engaging technology? This is a 5-book series. It is broken into grade level bands. There's a K2, 3-5, 6-8, high school, and a leadership book to suit every needs of all education groups. The lessons inside these books are accessible by anyone at any level of technology integration. We have novice level lessons for those just starting out. We have operational to step it up. And then we have the wow for those that are ready to move up to the highest level of technology integration in their classroom. We're going to be focusing on a variety of areas throughout our lessons that we're going to take you through in interactive stations. You're going to be creating, communicating, and collaborating, doing research and gathering information, looking at expanding technology through coding, practicing digital citizenship to bring all these components together to create that wow for the 21st century skills in your classroom. We're going to go from creation inside the pizza box to reaching a global audience and simple ways to do that with your students, and everything in between. So join us for From Now to Wow, Incorporating Engaging Technology, tomorrow at 8:30 a.m., bright and early, in W185C. And I have a second little bit as well here. For a second session tomorrow afternoon, you can join Billy Spicer and myself for creative, innovative thinkers using design thinking. We know the world has no shortages of problems, and we need to create students that have the skills to create innovative solutions for those problems. Billy Spicer and myself are both instructional coaches and help teachers implement these innovative practices and get our students thinking. So we are going to help walk you through what design thinking is and the research behind that. And we're going to look at the main pieces of these components to help you empathize, define, ideate the problem, prototype, test, and have the students get feedback on their designs. We'll be walking you through this process using the launch cycle from AJ Giuliani and John Spencer. And we do have an autographed copy of this book to give away for you, so you can take that home and have all the skits up that you need to implement design thinking. We'll be doing this through an interactive session where we'll use novel engineering, and we'll empathize with a character in a book, and you'll choose a problem for that character and be able to create an innovative solution using the design thinking process. You'll walk away with a toolkit using the extraordinaires, using TED Ed videos, using the design thinking model and future design school research and skills to create a toolkit that you'll walk away with in your classroom. Join us for Creative Innovative Thinkers through Design Thinking with Billy Spicer and myself Wednesday at 12:30 in the Hyatt Regency Ballroom, Hyde A. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is AT, and I'm a program manager at Google.
I'm Danielle Johnson, Dynamic Learning Project Coaching Fellow from Barbara Bush Middle School near Dallas, Texas. Our session is Everyone Needs a Coach, a panel led by Jenny McGarrah about fostering innovation through the Dynamic Learning Project. The Dynamic Learning Project, during this session, we will share strategies, lessons, and resources for instructional technology coaching in your schools.
Everyone in this room has either been coached or worked directly with a coach. And we want to bring that concept of coaching to many schools across the country. And we did that through the Dynamic Learning Project, which is a partnership through Digital Promise, EdTech Team, and Google. So this project is meant to empower teachers and students through instructional technology coaching. And our primary mission really is to improve educational equity by empowering teachers to leverage technology in impactful ways and transform learning for students across the country. And we started out with 50 coaches in 50 schools, serving 2,000 plus teachers and 30,000 plus students. We're next year moving to 100 schools across the country. And again, working with underserved groups to make sure we can focus on our equity piece. And at our panel, you'll be learning about 5 different elements that we offer to all of our schools and how you can bring them into your school as well. And that includes a unique coaching model, custom tools, one-on-one mentoring, PD, and also communities of practice. We've also done tons of research. So we'll be sharing a few different results from different surveys and case studies we've run across a program.
You'll also get to hear how technology coaching has impacted classroom practice. For example, one teacher said, "I always felt like I was pretty tech savvy, but this opened my eyes to so much more. I'm learning alongside my students." You'll also get to hear how coaching can drive a culture of innovation, how to measure success of instructional coaching, how principals can work with coaches and school leaders to enhance technology usage, and what you guys can do if your school doesn't have a dedicated technology coach. Our session is Everyone Needs a Coach, tomorrow at 10:30 in W186.
See you there.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Ben Smith, and I'm a STEM coordinator at Education Service Agency. We serve about 100,000 students, and my family, especially my extended family, they ask, like, what is STEM? They think that I work with, like, plants and things like that, trying to protect them and grow them all together. And so I've tried to come up with a way that we can talk about STEM in the easiest of fashions. And so we'll see. There we go. So I have 4 strands of STEM: code, build, design, create, each tied to a different pedagogy. And what we're going to do in this session is we're going to take a look at 2 of these strands, design and code. And so we really feel like you have to interconnect these. The kids have to find their passion by looking at each one of these. So we're going to start out by having you solve some design problems. And there's 3 ways you can do that. You can fix something that's broken, you can improve something that already exists, or the hardest of all, you can create something totally new. And we bring students together. We have a challenge where students come with their 3D printers in teams of 4. They come at that day, and then they open up the envelope. They get the challenge right on the spot. They have 1 hour to design, 3 hours to print. And during that 3 hours, we have them going through a whole bunch of other stuff. And you can see the excitement that's going on there. And we want to turn you guys into that. And then make the leap from design to code. And how we're going to do that is to try and get you to develop, through code, 3D models that you can actually print out. So if you come to the session, you're going to learn a lot of the skills that are tied into both design and into code. So there will be things like scale and CAD and all those types of things. And we're going to use some tools like Tinkercad, and we're going to use BlocksCAD to do this type of innovative approach to getting students to learn. And we're going to be in the Hyatt Regency on Wednesday tomorrow at 11 o'clock, and we hope that you guys will join us.
Good morning. My name is Gail Berthium, and my session is Create, Collaborate, Communicate, and Code with Early Learners. So in this hands-on, center-based session, you will learn about creativity, collaboration, communication, and coding strategies and resources. And how do I go back? Sorry. And just imagine all of how excited your students will be and how proud that they will be when they write their books and activities and videos about their experiences. And also the excitement that they'll show when they code their robot and it actually moves where they want it to go. We will also explore some developmentally appropriate apps for early learners and and some activities for coding and communication, collaboration, creativity, and that's it. And so join me as we experience the pre-K environment with some hands-on center-based activities. And my session is Wednesday, tomorrow at 9 to 10 in W183A. Okay, thank you.
Good morning, ISTE. How you doing today? Oh, come on, I can't hear you. How you doing today, everybody? Welcome to ISTE. My name is Jeff Bradbury, and today we are going to be talking about the world's most popular subject. We're going to be talking about how you can kick your classroom up to 11 by creating amazing audio and video podcasts. How many of you guys have ever heard of a podcast before? Raise your hand. Tomorrow, if you come to our session at 11:30, you are going to see me interview today's keynote, the fabulous Michael, the Tech Rabbi Cohen, all about podcasting, and you guys are going to have a chance to be interactive with us, and you guys are going to have a chance to make your own podcast. The problem that we have today in education is there's so many things that goes into making a podcast. You got to know how to do it, how to do it, how to do it, how to do it. What am I talking about? We have a lot of great things going on in podcasting, but we're really going to make it simple. Why do we want to podcast with our students? Number one, differentiated instruction. It hits all 4 C's. Talks about student creative learning. It is good for critical thinking, and the kids absolutely love it. But the problem that we have here when it comes to podcasting is paid versus free. Do we like paid things? Do we like free things? Here's the problem. There's so many things that are out there to choose from. We're going to narrow this down for you to give you not only the best tools, but the best lesson plan. Now, it's all about thinking outside of the box when it comes to podcasting. I want you guys to do me a quick favor. I want you to scream for me, I am. Now, the next thing is I want you to add a keyword after that. I am something. Ready? Here, 1, 2, 3. Oh, one more time. I am. If you come tomorrow at 11:30, we are going to kick you guys up to 11 with all of that stuff. When we're dealing with podcasting, it's all about having our kids take that leap. Get themselves out of their chairs, getting themselves out of their comfort level, getting them excited about doing stuff like this, being on this stage. And it really is about storytelling. Podcasting and your students is about telling a story. It could be telling a story about Rome. It could be telling a story about biology. It could be telling a story about anything. The best way to do that is to have the kids tell their story about yourself. So what is your story, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Jeff Bradbury. I will see you guys at 11:30 tomorrow. And until next time, keep up the great work in your classrooms and continue sharing your passions with your students.
All right, my name is Jessica Cabine, and this is our student presenter and my son,
Isaiah.
And his job is to make sure I stay under 2 minutes to talk to you about why you should come to our session tomorrow for consumers and creators, coding, kindergarten, and computational thinking. Some of you might be thinking about kindergarten and coding, and does this come to mind? For me, 5 years ago, this is exactly what I thought technology was in the early years. Our session is really going to talk about how we have innovated and amplified the early learning experience to meet the needs of our students and create experiences for them today and tomorrow and beyond. During the session, we are going to share relevant research. We're going to talk about standard-based learning, activities that are going to help be relevant to the students and provide all of that in a developmental framework. Doing okay yet? Okay, good, because I could be up here all day, right? No, we can't. Okay, he's got other things he wants to do. He wants to get back to those exhibits. When we talk about a blueprint for implementation, this is a framework that we used as a staff to really risk early, risk often, and take changes and challenges for our students. So using this framework tomorrow, we're going to walk through how we as a building have had that culture of success. We really want you to recognize, and we're going to give you opportunities to play with these toys and learn how to use them as tools for our students' futures. Again, as you think about this opportunity, it is no longer just a nice thing to do for our students, but it's absolutely necessary to prepare them for those 21st century skills and for their cradle to career experiences. And what wouldn't be a kindergarten session without free play and prizes tomorrow? So we really hope that you can come. We're going to have some awesome student presenters and demonstrators there, as well as some incredible staff from the Woodson Kindergarten Center. So with that, did I do it?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. You guys have a great afternoon.
Good morning. My name is not Rico DeMore. It's actually pronounced Kimberly Lobitz. I am from Gurnee, Illinois. And you can come see me later in the hackathon, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm here to talk about our presentation that is called Hack to the Future, and it's taking place tomorrow at 10 a.m. And it's about how to host a successful high school hackathon. Because everybody has always wanted to invite about 100 kids to your high school for a co-ed sleepover, right? We did. So we're going to talk about what a hackathon is, what hacking is versus what it's not, and how you can sell that to your district, along with the concept of the overnight lock-in that takes place. We're going to talk about the concept, how you plan the event, gaining support, and also sponsorships, because this is an event we've held for 2 consecutive years at almost minimal cost to the district, outside of just some basic staffing, but we provide all of the meals, we provide t-shirts, bags, water bottles, all kinds of stuff for the kids, but at 0 cost to the district, because it's hard enough to convince your district administration to let you have a co-ed sleepover in your gym on a Saturday in January with technology and kids hacking, that you don't want to turn around and say it's going to cost you about this much per student. So then we'll talk about marketing the event, some of the event activities that we did to break up the event, to make it fun and entertaining, mini competitions that we had for kids, and some of the logistics, getting mentors and speakers, as well as volunteers, judges, and community support. We are hosting a mini version of a hackathon here at ISTE. The event is quite different than what we would host at a school, because we do not have a confined group of students who are here the whole time. So it's going to be live during the conference. Today around noon, we have about 30 kids coming. We're going to take them through a mini problem-solving process, so stop by and see what they're doing. And our actual presentation on hosting the hackathon is tomorrow at 10 a.m. in W187B. So we hope you come and join us, and we've got a lot of great information to share. Thank you.
Hey, so my name's David, and I'm going to talk about my session. If you want to flip it, touch cast it. So what's the problem with this? It's easy for kids to come here, and it also takes up way too much class time. So a tool like TouchCast can be used to solve some of those issues. TouchCast is a video production app that gives you almost everything you want. It gives you a teleprompter, a green screen. You can put web apps in it and have the video be interactive where kids can stay within that video. And so you can use it for the flip, or you can be somewhere in between, which is what I like to be, somewhere in between the flip and the traditional. And whatever it is, it's going to give you time to let kids create. And that's what we need in the classroom, is to create time. Former high school teacher, it's hard to do that. You got to create time. So my session is tomorrow, the last one of the conference, in 175C. Thanks.
Good morning. So before I begin about VR, I want to take a second to talk about some concepts that students and teachers face on a daily basis. And this is by no means complete or comprehensive, but it's worth mentioning when we're talking about incorporating new technology. So the first one is time, and of course related to that is distance. And then we have the lack of empathy or equity. And then of course the biggest one, arguably, would be poverty. But even in the face of these things, we want to foster something in our students and even fellow educators with the ability of things like creation or collaboration or innovation and production. So where does VR come into this? Well, immersion technology like VR is not new, but is still in its infancy. It's very new, especially in education. So we also notice that there is great potential in VR in education. And this is the promise of virtual reality, to combat all those concepts that I just talked about and overcome it. So, if you want to learn more about how you can take part in this promise, join me tomorrow at 12:30 in Grant C, and I will be giving away some free stuff. So come on and see me.
Hello, Mara. Hello, Fada. We are here from north of Toronto. Tomorrow we'll do a poster session about how to help schools share in our profession. In York Region, there's innovation, but happening in isolation. We saw a problem, had to fix it. How could sharing happen all across the district? No more silos was our mandate. Come together, but hold on now, wait. That would cost a lot of money. Public education, don't have any. Surely we could have tech help us. No need to pay for a school bus. Get schools online so they can share. Inspiration was Google Edu on air. Let's use YouTube, Google Sites. Have schools broadcast their bits and bytes. Pre-record them or go live. ML on air is the solution. Yes, high five. We're going to take a quick intermission so you can read this really text-heavy slide. All day long, schools told their stories. Staff and students, in all their glory, spoke of coding, meditation, passion projects, design thinking, transformations. These are only a few examples. On our website, we have more samples, but students loved it and teachers raved. The community was so super engaged. Want to learn more? Come on Wednesday. We will share how to plan your own day, give you info, share our bit.lys, share you all the things you will need to succeed. So much to share in just 2 minutes. We hope you encouraged you to visit Table 40. You can't go wrong. This is the end of our ISTE 18 Bytes song.
Good morning, ISTE Chicago. It's the morning after the night before of all the parties, and you're up early in here. Hooray. So I'm Julian Reed. I work with Polar Bears International, the Tundra Connections. I'm also a consultant. And I've worked with Jen Goodall, and together we can change the world. Who thinks the world's perfect? So we can make a difference, but more importantly, our kids can make a difference. And we think we can't by ourselves, but cumulatively we can. So a group of us are coming together to tell you how we've collaborated through NGOs, public institutions, and educational institutions to make a difference with kids, giving them student agency to really create opportunities to make a difference. So we have Tundra Connections, we have Marissa Cross from there. We also have, and she'll be talking about all the work they've done on the Tundra with live polar bears outside the window, where we have over 5 million views by students and teachers joining us around the world. That happens this fall in October, November. We have Mark Nichols from the Challenge Institute and Digital Promise talking about challenge-based learning and the difference that can make in your schools. And we have Emily Henderson from Google Earth's outreach team. We have created expeditions and street views and all types of things, and she's going to also share how you can use Google's tools, so geo tools, to make a difference with your kids and map out problems in your communities. Also, we can talk about Michael Furtick. He's joining us virtually, and he's been taking it global. He has to go back to Canada, but he'll still be here in spirit and talking with us about all the great work they're doing and the app they have for Indigenous communities. Then we'll also talk with Wani Hersey, who is from California. She is doing amazing projects out there with her students with challenge-based learning and the Sustainable Development Goals. And that is working with the Global Center for Education. So all these people, along with Kyle Scott from Discovery Education, who's been with us for years on the Tundra. And that's it. We just really want to challenge you to take action to help your students work together to really make a difference and change this world for the better. And our session is tomorrow at 1 o'clock in W196C. So see you there.
Good morning. My name is Mike Ribble, and I am half the team that will be talking about digital citizenship tomorrow. The other half of the team is sitting right back over there. His name is Marty Park, and everybody wave to Marty. Everyone say hello. Good morning. We're going to talk about this idea of digital citizenship, and we're so happy to be in the second city here in Chicago to talk about this. And if you were at the opening keynote, you heard Richard talking about this idea of digital citizenship and what are you going to do. I hope you've gone to the hashtag put your information out there so that you can join into this discussion of what are we going to do. And that's really about what our session is how do we move forward? How do you take being your superhero that you are and moving you into this next frame of safe, savvy, and social that we're going to talk about tomorrow. We'll talk about safe, being protected. We're going to talk about being savvy, learning about these ideas, about the concepts, and how we're going to use them. And social. Everybody wants to be social. How do we get there? We need to go through a progression. We need to show how we can provide these tools for our students in a productive way. A lot of you still have those ideas of having that up in front and the kids in the back. We need to tie it together. We've talked about digital citizenship for a long time. This is actually about year 15 for me to talk about digital citizenship, and we're ready to move into the next phase so that we can take this to our students, to our schools, to our districts. We have our session tomorrow at 1:30 at room 184C. We hope to see you there. I know it's the end of the conference, but we all expect you to come and learn a little more about digital citizenship. Thank you.
I was trying to time it with that music with my strut up here. Good morning, everybody. All right, so I'm Ken Shelton, and I actually have the privilege of doing this session for, I believe this is the 4th ISTE in a row I will have done this session. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about and really just share in regards to how we use visuals for communications, for storytelling, and more importantly, just for creative expression. If you all notice in all these sessions prior to me coming up here, everyone's using visuals. So visuals are really important in several capacities. Number one, vision is our most acute sense, and in many cases we can bridge language barriers, communications barriers, and tell more effective or more compelling stories through the use of visuals. And so part of the reasons why, why I love doing this session is twofold. One is looking at visuals in regards to our retention rate of the information that we're shared. So I don't know if you are aware, but the retention rate on visuals is roughly about 65%. Which is more than about triple what you hear if it's delivered auditorily. The other side to visuals that I will cover in this session are in the areas of building an observational literacy. So we're going to look at 2 areas in that capacity. One is literacy, which I simply define as effective communication, and then we'll also look at fluency, which is ultimately the processes that we go through in the capacity of how we communicate. And there are several things that I'll share with you all in this time that I have. One is that in many cases, you've probably seen some ads where they have taken advantage of the fact that they know their audience is probably not as adept as you will be after this session in regards to visual literacy. So, for example, here's an ad from Colgate, and while you're probably focused on the fact that this gentleman has not flossed his teeth, you might be missing the fact that he's missing his right ear. All right, because they don't catch that. No, we're not going to catch that. Same thing with this one. First focus is on the teeth, but the question I asked when I saw this is, where is that hand coming from? And then they did another one with this one, which you all probably are going to catch it now. I don't know if you noticed, but she has 6 fingers. So that's why I'm saying the visuals are so important, because they did this ad and they had to reveal these things later. If we have equitable access to technology and we think about how we use it, again, in this session, is looking at the use of visuals and, quite frankly, also multimedia literacy. How do we incorporate the use of these tools and these the equipment that our kids have access to really tell compelling stories and be communicative with them? And so ultimately, you all have probably heard this saying, and it's something I love sharing, is they say everyone has a voice. Well, my whole thing is if everyone has a voice, then if we have visual literacy and multimedia literacy, then we can ensure that every voice is heard. So with that being said, that's where I will be tomorrow. That's when I will be tomorrow, and I hope to see you all there. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Noah Hartman. My name is Stuart Richardson.
My name is Alex Garcia. And I'm Sean, and we're going to be talking a little bit about crafting heroes and building the future. And we're specifically going to be talking about student development for augmented, virtual, and mixed reality. We're going to tell you a little bit about our studio. We've been, for the last 6 years, developing a video game design studio in a regular public high school. And we're going to talk a little bit about what our systems and processes are like to enable kids. This is kind of what our studio looks like. We do live action motion capture. We do augmented, virtual, mixed reality development. We do some stuff with 3D printing in order to create opportunities for kids to make their own experiences. We work with a bunch of different kinds of hardware. And so we're going to be showcasing tomorrow some of the different projects that students have been working on.
So one of these projects is one that me and a team are working on. It's a work in progress, Oculus VR escape room using Unity 3D engine. It's to help teach kids about problem solving and art history.
Similarly, this is an Oculus Unity experience using Smithsonian assets to make a virtual art gallery where you can view Smithsonian assets and you don't have to travel all the way to the Smithsonian Institute to see them.
So this is a recreation of a Salem courthouse. We did it to help a student project in the school. And this is a flu model used in the headset Meta 2. It is a device that helps you resize, help you touch the holograms, and not be able to just like point around and look at them around.
We're also going to be talking about some of the work that we've been doing with the HoloLens. So this right here is an augmented reality periodic table of the elements that one of our students produced that will show you information about each one of the elements, but it'll also show you the atomic structure. And we're going to be talking a little bit about another project that we've been working on called HoloLight, which is a game with the HoloLens to teach other students about the way that light actually works. And we're going to give recommendations, resources, tips, and you're going to hear from the students about their student experiences, and they're going to show live demos of some of the work that they've been doing. If you'd like to come to our session tomorrow, we present at 8:30, and it's going to be in 187A.
Hello there, I'm Mike Yakubowski, and everybody always asks me, what do I do with my 3D printer? I use 3D printing in my classes at school, and I teach engineering. I'm an Apple Distinguished Educator out of the Dallas area, and I teach engineering. I'm also the STEM coordinator for our program, and I'm always getting that question with middle schoolers, elementary, high school, from other schools, what to do with it. And my session, we're going to talk about what you can do with your 3D printing, doing something that matters, 3D printing with a purpose. This is some of what my students have done this year. They actually paired up with math and science teachers in our district and talked with them about their challenges. These students were sent out on their own. I sent them to the teachers. They came up with the problem that was impeding learning, something that got in the way of the teachers, and my students created solutions for that. Everything from elementary manipulatives to working with calculus teachers to working with middle school science teachers, high school science teachers. They hit the whole range of everything to do, and it was my students that put it together. So, I mean, obviously it is an innovative designer standard, but we're going to get into what to do with this. And actually, my students wrote the book on how to do this project because they wrote their rubrics, they came up with the standards, they came up with the due dates, the client contracts, and all of that, and then they wrote a book and it's published in the Apple bookstore. So we're going to go through how to do that in your class. I'm going to go through, we're actually going to talk with you and see what challenges you have and help you come up with a way that you can do the same thing in your school where your students can use 3D printing to do something that actually matters, that makes an impact, and to watch that impact, to watch your students work with other students in the district to solve their problems in class so that they can learn more is really, really touching. It will get to you, and it will really actually choke up your superintendent and everybody else because it's what learning is about. It's about making a difference. So come see me tomorrow. I'll be Wednesday tomorrow at 10 o'clock in 196C. Thank you.
I'm Rhonda Christensen from University of North Texas. Clearly the people you've seen on stage today are technology proficient teachers, but I'm going to be talking a little bit about how you know whether they are or not and whether the other ones in your district might be. So we're talking about tools for measuring technology proficiency in teachers. Oops. All right. So we were honored to win an award in the Journal of Digital Learning and Teacher Education. Last night was awarded to us for a paper that we wrote on validating the technology proficiency self-assessment for 21st century learners. That's what we'll be talking about particularly. So we talk about self-efficacy as a confidence in your competence in using technology. So the evolution, it started early at ISTE. So the TPSA was originally developed based on the ISTE standards in 1993. We have since then updated it a lot, and we've recently added more about emerging technologies and how you teach with them, not just use them, but teach with them. And the new scales are teaching with emerging technologies and then emerging tools. And so if you look at teaching with emerging technologies and teaching with technology, the top two scales, they're more about pedagogy than tools. And so we think that is a very important piece of learning to teach with technology in the classroom. What will you learn there? So I'll show you the survey, and you can take it home with you if you want to, administer it to your teachers, and then look at the data and determine professional development. That's really what it's about, how you target professional development for teachers at different levels of technology integration. Then you implement the professional development, then you measure the changes. And we've been doing that for many years, and it's really a powerful tool to see where you need to target professional development and how far they come. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow at 1 p.m. in room W 179A. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming this morning and sitting down and exploring your learning opportunities for the upcoming moments. For me, for the rest of the day, I wish you a pleasant learning journey here at ISTE. Thank you very much, and off you go.